Hey ladies and gentlemen, aussiebede from Newcastle, Australia. This video is on pre-decimal coins and the remaining coins that are still in circulation. Well, circulation is not quite the word for it. The remaining coins that are in storage, in people's vaults and in people's drawers. Now, the way we look at this, ladies and gentlemen, to determine how much coin returns, or how much coin was returned to the banks, is by the acquisitions. Now, the overseas banks that purchased Australian pre-decimal coins in the 1960s were Johnson Matthey bankers. Now, Johnson Matthey potentially purchased several tons of coins. They were based in London, and they were one of the successful tenders for the silver coins, specifically florins, shillings and the sixpences. The Deutsche Bank purchased around 4 million ounces, located in Frankfurt. This company was another successful tenderer for the Australian silver coins. These companies purchased the coins from the Royal Australian Mint, which had acquired them from the Reserve Bank at face value. The coins were then refined for their silver content by the Reserve Bank and branch of the Royal Mint handling the refinement of threepences. And then the Royal Mint, it refined 4 million ounces of silver and keeping the refined copper for themselves and returning the silver to the Reserve Bank. So, ladies and gentlemen, from this we can gather that there isn't much of pre-decimal coins left because they can account for what was returned to the Reserve Bank. Now, the pennies and the half penny, the majority of them were returned to the Reserve Bank. They were melted down to make 1 cent pieces and 2 cent pieces. There wasn't even enough to make the 1 and 2 cent pieces. They had to use copper blanks to produce the 1 and 2 cent pieces. So that lets you know that they took as many pennies and half pennies out of the system as they could to make the 1 and 2 cent pieces. So there's very limited amount of pre-decimal coins in circulation or in the hands of the public. And the reason that they sell so cheaply is because of demand. There is not a very large demand for pre-decimal coins due to the fact of education. The public are not aware of it, they don't know that they're rare, and they just don't buy them. Now recently though, with the silver price going up, the silver coins, the florins, the shillings, the sixpences and the threepences are starting to show their worth. But it's still a long way away from Australia appreciating its worth in pre-decimal coins, which is our heritage. And without Australian pre-decimal coins, our monetary system wouldn't be what it is today. Would be still working with English money, and we wouldn't have our own coinage. And ladies and gentlemen, if you look at our own coinage, it's very unique. Like, we use all our native animals on our coins, like the Australian kangaroo. We just use our native animals, and it's so unique. So, this is just a wake-up call, ladies and gentlemen, for pre-decimal coins. And your mate, aussiebede from Newcastle, Australia. See ya.